es la voz de LA. It's like una galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and Will Kuntz we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell a hater shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Robert, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goals during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans out there, wherever you may be, and for all you soccer fans out there, you have a home here to pull on up. You're welcome as well. Today, after the adventures in the League's Cup that brought the LA Galaxy CONCACAF Champions Cup qualification, the G's returned to league play against the Houston Dynamo on Saturday, September 6th, in a match that was rescheduled from earlier in the season, Friday, July 25th, with the Galaxy still seeking their first road win of the season. We'll be joined by Goals TV's Hector Flores, host of the Insert Name FC, who will be here to help us break down this Houston team and what the Galaxy can expect. We'll look at who the reschedule helped more, what each team needs to do to get a result, which team needs it more, and how the Galaxy could approach this match and the rest of the season. Plus, Riqui fans rejoice as the mighty Catalan took his first team training of the year yesterday. But will we see him at all this season? All that and more coming up on tonight's episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm one of your co-hosts tonight, and always Ramalon. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And of course, since I'm here, you know the Cosmopolitan one, El Yerno Guapo, El Gitano Pedido, and El Papa de Natita, due to head back home, hopefully soon after his jet-setting ways. Ananda Kirana. Woo! Papa, ¿cómo te sientes?
Hey, first of all, shout out to you have an extra zest, an extra step, an extra zippity zap in your voice today. I love it, man. I love the energy because you know what time it is here. It's in the wee hours, so
it's like 6:30 or something like that over there, right?
So
like
it's like
6:05 or something.
It's like an 80-20 like energy split right now. So I'm glad you're bringing the heat, Papa.
Hey, Papa, we'll bring it for you. Let's go.
This is why. I mean, Did the Galaxy get you that excited for getting that CCC spot? Anyways, we'll talk about it.
I'm excited about our guest. Did you heard that the homie Hector's going to be here, so I'm excited about Hector being here. We got to celebrate something, and you know what? The good times have been few in between, so I'm going to take it as it comes. No one's going to rain on this parade.
Fair enough. I'm glad that he's here too, so that we can do little bants about our little fantasy Goals TV Fantasy Premier League season so far. That's been pretty fun. But anyways, yeah, no, man. Well, I'm still exhausted. I still have my cafecito, but it's okay because you know what? Today it's not sad foo hours. We missed y'all on Monday. Again, hope you guys had an amazing Labor Day. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. Just one more day till the weekend, guys. So there you go. Tomorrow is Friday. But no, man, like we said, Galaxy did the business, right? And since we didn't have a show, we are going to... ¿Qué pasó?
The homie William Lamb just asked us what our reaction. He says, hello, guys. What's your reactions to LA Galaxy's third placement and advancing to the CCC next year? Will the team improve next season? And funnily enough, you know I love my segues. So, William, here it is. We're going to broach this exact subject right now.
One word.
No. We got to give it the justice it deserves. I mean, it's at risk of going on a rant. I mean, like, we've been talking about it several times on this podcast. I mean, the Galaxy, if they want to be that elite team that they say they are, if they want to be the model club here on the continent, they got to be playing in this competition somehow, some way, even through themselves trying to shoot themselves in the foot. They got their qualification. They made it. I mean, they're one of the teams that are going to be playing in the Champions Cup next year, and next year they should, with Riqui returning and hopefully a retool team, they should have enough to make it just based on their form. So, I mean, with the Riqui Pooch returning, anything is possible. Ananda, that's an early trophy. That's one the Galaxy haven't won in a while. And I mean, Ricky's never played in it. So I went long-winded. That wasn't one word, but you know what? If you come back to me, I can give you a one word. Let's go with you first.
Well, okay. I'm actually I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do two words, but this is going to be consistent from what I said last time when we had Jose and Honda on, which is saving face. The Galaxy save face, Rob. And I could have picked multiple ways of dissecting or saying that, but simply put, they save face. I think this is probably the bare minimum requirement.
Yeah, two things can be true. You're absolutely right.
So that's how I'm looking at it, because I'm looking at it in totality. I'm glad that we did get it so that we can save face and we're not staring at the depths of not getting anything out of the season other than a wooden spoon, potentially. Right. So I think I'm hoping this at least raises the morale level within the locker room, approaches the rest of the season sort of with less pressure, I guess. It's a tick mark, right, for the season, and an otherwise season to forget, really. So yeah, for me it's saving face, because to me this was the bare minimum, and I'm hoping that this provides a platform. Again, we're not going to make playoffs this year. That's done. So I'm hoping this just provides a platform heading to 2026, right? In terms of building, well, we'll talk about one of the new guys later, but building some of these young guys now into the team, integrating into the team, and seeing what Greg Vanney has in his roster for next year.
William Nam bringing the heat with another super chat today. He says, also, can Riqui improve 2026 season post injury? Gracias, el amigo William Lam. You know what, man? Ananda and I have talked about this, on the show, even behind the scenes. Like, who knows how Ricky's going to end up, post injury. I mean, this is a heavy ACL injury that's kept him out for basically the entire year. Kept him out of that final that he basically took the Galaxy on his shoulders to get to. I mean, I would hope that you can't fault the guy. He's doing the work. You can see that he's doing the work. He's doing the rehab and stuff like that. So my hope is that he comes back, and he comes back with that fire, like the Riqui Pooch revenge proved them wrong tour. I came back stronger, and maybe 2026 is an MVP season. But I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a crazy heavy injury. So I mean, now with medical science, you would think that they can get him back to the Riqui Pooch of old, but also he's a year older. It is an ACL.
Yeah. No, I would err on the side of caution for that. Honestly, it's gonna be a while. Riqui, especially with his movements and the way he cuts and his swivels and his pivots, I mean, he's gonna use a lot of that knee cartilage, right? So I think
tread looks like me on Saturdays, right?
I think tread with caution is probably the telltale here. But I mean, you talked a little bit about your reaction, Papa, but if you had to sum it in one word,
it's a Spanish word, al menos, which pretty much means at least, right? Like, right. I was there, right? I mean, there was no one at this game, Papa. I mean, I honestly expected a different atmosphere, because the supporter groups had announced that they were going to come back, and I had come ready to kind of feel that energy from them returning and stuff like that. And you know what? I mean, pretty much everybody's, when I put out a video showing the attendance at the digs, pretty much everybody was like, son, it's 2 p.m. and it's 90 plus. Like, of course, no one's going to be there. I mean, it was terrible scheduling on the part of, the League's Cup they definitely could have put this one in the evening. But you know what? It is what it is. I mean, the people that were there got to see the Galaxy sub qualification and had a nice moment in a year that hasn't been so nice. So anyway, that's pretty much sums up what would have been our Monday show had we done a show and you guys been here with us. But anyway,
everyone deserves a day off though, Labor Day. So
yeah, exactly. Solidarity. But yes, the Galaxy did beat Orlando 2-1 to get the CCC qualification. And like I said, al menos están jugando. At least they're playing in that tournament. After a terrible year, they have something to hang their hat on. So that's something to look forward to as well. Like I said, Ricky's never played in it, and it'll be interesting to see how he does. Guys, before we get into our time with our wonderful guest today, we want to thank you guys for being here in chat and back with us, because like we mentioned, we weren't here on Monday, but we promise not to leave you again. But if you're watching on X or on Instagram, thank you so much for doing so. At some point, go ahead and mosey on over to YouTube and hit that like and subscribe. We would love you forever. Ananda will take a shot with you. And that's a promise from me to you. We are so close to 700 subscribers. And so do what Dr. Riquinho would want you to do and subscribe. Go ahead and tell all your friends and family about this humble little pod. And we would love you forever. And like I said, Ananda's taking a shot with you. So it's going to be wonderful. As you guys have already seen, the homie William Lamb has given us a couple super chats. You too can go ahead and pop some questions in there. Get anything that's going through that wonderful little mind of yours. Get it out there into chat, and we'll go ahead and broach that subject. Get us a 6 for the 6 MLS Cup titles that the Galaxy have. Ananda, anything else to add before we get into announcements?
Yes, sir. Well, you can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. You can find us on all of your socials at Lacuna Galaxiana. Even Blue Sky now, we're trying to tread lightly on that platform, so we'll see what's going on. I mean, Carrier Pigeon and Reincarnation of MySpace coming soon. And papá, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de Lacuna Galaxiana.
Hey, I like it.
I thought you were gonna like follow up with something. Anyways, it's like a little jingle.
No. I was just like, just following along with the la pelotita.
Hey, dale los shoutouts. We got to get Hector on.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the reason why we're all here, because us two knuckleheads. Like,
I mean, us, so. people were like, "Oh shit, Hector's gonna be on. Let's go." But hey, the sneaky fox. It was his birthday. Mike McGee, definitely one of my favorite Galaxy players. I would venture to say probably top 5, if not top 3. Ananda, I think, had a stellar MLS career that included winning the MLS MVP in 2013 with Chicago, while with Los Angeles he won 2 MLS Cups, of course, in 2011 and 2012. Just an absolute legend of a man and of a person and a player. And yeah, like I said, one of my favorites in the Galaxy uniform. So happy birthday to him. Hopefully he was surrounded by friends and family. And incredibly, we are 10 months away from the World Cup. And there's now just 5 days to go, or 6 days, 5 days, one of those, to go before the first phase of the FIFA World Cup ticket sales open. So if you're lucky enough to have a Visa card, you can be included in the Visa pre-sale draw, which opens on Wednesday, September 10th at 11 Eastern, so 8 a.m. over here on the West Coast for this Visa pre-sale draw. It closes at 8 a.m. on Friday, September 19th. And here's what I found interesting, Ananda. Tickets are going to start at $60 for the group stage matches. And I say they're going to start because FIFA is going to be doing this dynamic pricing thing, kind of like, this on demand, based on demand, they're going to go ahead and pump up the prices. So just a word of caution to them. When they tried that in the Club World Cup, they had pretty empty stadiums at one point. So just a word of caution. Fans looking to attend the World Cup here in Los Angeles can register their interest at FIFA.com/tickets. If you don't get chosen for this Visa pre-sale draw, you have other opportunities. October 27th through 31st is the early ticket draw. December 5th is the final draw. And in mid-December, you have the very, very last tickets going out in a random selection draw a la Willy Wonka golden ticket style. So if you've missed out until then, you have one last shot to get there. And then, of course, there's a resale market. But Ananda, $60 are baseline tickets for group stage matches, and I'm assuming those are the nosebleeds. So are we going to have to, get permission from the ministers of finance to go to these games, or are we okay?
Oh, dynamic pricing is going to be interesting, to say the least. Anyways, may the odds forever be in everyone's favor.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in preparation for this historic tournament here on U.S. soil, as well as Mexican and Canadian soil, the U.S. men's national team will keep getting ready with their next match against South Korea on Saturday, November 6th, and they also will play Japan on Tuesday, September 9th. They'll also be playing against Ecuador in Austin on October 10th. They'll also be playing Australia in Colorado on October 14th. And then the hot rumor of the moment is that they'll be finishing up their 2025 by playing two-time World Cup champion Uruguay to close out a pretty interesting slate of friendlies here to end the year. I mean, interesting competition here in South Korea, Japan, Ecuador, and Australia, and what could be Uruguay. Guys, wrapping up here pretty soon with the announcements. The 11th Blue, White, and Gold pop-up we've told you about. That's going to be back at Absolution Brew on September 6th. Go check out your favorite G's vendors, and there's going to be a viewing party at 5:30. If you are wearing G's here, you'll get a discount. If you miss that, there's an opportunity to hang out with some fellow G's at Lars First Friday at Muse Karaoke in Torrance at 7:30 p.m. this Friday. Of course, it's First Friday, so it's going to be Friday. If you want to sing out your little heart, go ahead and check out Lars First Friday. Catching up with the VCFC, they lost their last match 1-0 to North Texas away. That result leaves them 5th in the Western Conference, where they've kind of hit a skid. They have a 10-5-8 record at the moment on 37 points. 2 points back from 4th, but 18 points back from first place. That seems like a foregone conclusion. That is not happening. And like I mentioned, a skid at the moment, winless in 4. 5 matches left to go ahead and get back into form before the playoffs. In those 5 matches, 2 of those are home games. They just copped the L to North Texas, and they'll be playing them again in a rematch away again on Saturday, September 6th at 5:30. And now the moment you have all been waiting for. Please welcome the host of Insert Name FC, Goals TV's Hector Flores.
Dang, I gotta clap for that, man. Jeez, that's great.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
WWE style.
We try to bring the
hype
heat
music
here on the intros. Oh yeah, I mean we could do the hype music. I mean, will that be copyright though? No, I don't know. I don't know if we should do the hype music because copyright. We do have a super chat. Steve Moss says, "Go South Korea. At least Son won't be jet lagged for the USA match." True, he will be here in Los Angeles.
Steven's a big South Korea fan. Really quick, Rob, before we get going with Hector, do you guys want to hear? I didn't even tell you this, Papa, because it just popped into my mind right now. Do you guys want to hear some cheese? Do you like cheese, Papa? Do you want to hear?
I love cheese, man.
USMNT cheese, Okay, all you private eyes and investigative journalists out there, because I haven't wrapped my head around it, but I will give you the facts, and then you guys can figure it out. But so this was 2 weeks ago now, Sunday. I think it was Sunday, August 24th. So this is a couple of weeks ago. So as you guys know, I'm in Spain right now, and I'm with my wife. I'm with my wife and my mom, and we're walking around Madrid. We're in Madrid, right? And we're like, damn, we need to go to the bathroom. We need to find a nice, clean bathroom. So why don't we just pop into the next hotel that we see? The hotel that we see ends up being the Four Seasons in Madrid. Right? Random. And so
Hector, like I said, this guy's rich and
that's
powerful, bro.
I mean, I'm surprised we didn't have to pay an entry fee to get in there, but slid past security, whatever, or the bellhops, and as I'm waiting for my mom and my wife to get out, there was a certain someone checking into the Four Seasons on Sunday, August 24th in Madrid. And that person happened to be, and I'm not joking, I wish I would have snapped something or like Pixar didn't happen kind of thing, right? But it was Mr. Mauricio Pochettino. So the question I had was, what was he doing? I'm dead serious. I think he was with his mom, it looked like, or one of his family members. But my question is, what was he doing in Madrid on Sunday, August 24th? Because now he's in camp, and I'm sure he's in country, etc. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave that to the private eyes and investigative journalists out there. So, just like yourself, Rob.
You know, Ananda, I'm unfortunately a Manchester United fan, and they've been quite terrible for a little bit. Already just 3 games into the season, Ruben Amorim's under the gun, and one of the rumors out there has been that the United board is like ready to go all in on Mauricio Pochettino if Amorim either quits or they fire him. So who knows?
Yeah, but more believable if that was Xabi Alonso, but I don't know. Anyways, you guys can figure that out. Not sure.
Yeah,
maybe he was like,
I don't know if you guys heard this, but I guess I don't know what was the account that was like quoting him. It could have been a troll account, and I mean I fall for that all the time. Good old Tom Booger. So
shout out Tom Booger.
Shout out. He was taken from us too soon.
He was a great quote was from Pochettino saying, "My style fits to Barcelona. I would coach Barcelona, but I'm loyal to Espanyol."
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Which, if that's the case, I could be a 5-star chef. I just don't know how to cook.
Yeah, I mean, Poch is funny, man, because someone correctly brought up. I think it might have even Jose that he's for all his good reputation and everything, like everybody freaked out when he got hired. He really hasn't won anything. So yeah, he coached, big teams and stuff like that, but has he won anything? Who knows? Maybe he will in the future here on
Jose said last time. That's the point Jose made last time.
Did he manage PSG when Lille won the Ligue 1?
I'm not sure. I have to fact check.
Yeah, we'll have to fact check that.
It was 2021 when Lille won Ligue 1.
Yeah.
When who won?
Lille.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could be. I'm not 100 on that one, but somebody will fact check us here in a moment. But
I mean, he took Tottenham to Champions League final. I think that's impressive. I don't think anybody could do that. So, but
in true Tottenham fashion, Ananda, I mean, I'm sure you were super happy to see.
Well, he was yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I was just looking this up. He was coach,
bro.
I know he was coach of PSG 21-22. Yeah, but then Spurs just sacked Levy, so that's not good news for us. That he was the cancer for sure. Anyways,
speaking of seismic.
Sorry, my cheesemate got us off track, but I just thought that was very
interesting. No, that's interesting. No,
that's pretty cool.
That is good cheesemate. I do like that.
Honestly, we're probably way overreacting. He was just there checking in just to get himself in a good mental state in a very, very nice hotel in Madrid before.
Quizás el hombre nomás quiso ir a comer un sandwichito con su mamá y tú estás así. Nosotros aquí estamos haciendo un caso federal que el vato ahí se va comiendo un sandwichito.
Un buen Rioja, bro. Yeah.
Exactly. He's just trying to have a little bit of wine with his mom. But Hector, before we got sidetracked, I wanted to say welcome again to the show. We'll get into this Galaxy versus Houston preview, but as you saw, we do cover other issues and other news on this show, other soccer happenings in the world. There was a final that happened recently. Seattle took on Inter Miami, and Seattle very handedly beat what is considered the I guess the most recognizable, well-known team in MLS in Inter Miami, and they did it, like I mentioned, in convincing fashion. First off, did you catch this one, Hector? Did you watch this one?
I did in fact watch it. Can you zoom in on that Miami fan with his pockets? And I just need to see that guy. That is the face of Inter
I
Miami right
can't
now.
zoom in, but yeah.
Oh,
100%.
that
One on the
that
right.
is clutch. Yeah, the one all the way on the right. Oh, that is so good.
I love that. You love to see it. I think at this point, I think any MLS supporter of any matter at this point is anti-Miami. I don't. There's no, unless you're obviously a Miami supporter. I feel like to give you guys some comparison. Obviously, you guys are from LA, but like I think there's a lot of indifference for certain people with the whole LeBron James Lakers relationship. And I think that's what Miami is now. You have the Messi stands, but then you also have like the guys that were supporting Miami when Pizarro was there. So I think it's an interesting dynamic now with Miami. But yeah, it's everybody against Miami at this point. And whenever Miami loses, I think we all win in the MLS. So it was a great performance. And plus, hey, Roldan, Salvadorian, he ends up putting in work defensively. What a show. I mean, I think Roldan, I don't really like to say a lot of nice things about Roldan, especially right now with his commitment to the Salvadorian Federation, but I also don't blame him at the same time. But it was cool to see a Salvadorian flexing on Luis Suarez and Messi and whoever else they spent money on that we still are not sure how they got that to happen.
Yeah, Green Blue Tribe says, not to mention Seattle beat them with 6 of their best out and using academy kids. Yeah, I mean, very true. I mean, we spoke about it when they played Los Angeles, Ananda. They had Jordan Morris out, they had Paul Arriola out, they had João Paulo out. I mean, they had a lot of big names out of their lineup, and it's a testament to Brian Schmetzer that he can just plug in these players that know his system, that know the way they need to play. And you see young academy kids like Paul Rothrock shine on the big stage in front of friends and family and friends of 65,000 neighbors. That's a beautiful story, man. Galaxy Chat here is probably gonna come out and crucify me, but there's a lot to admire about this Seattle team and the way they're being run. And I mean, it's not hard to say that they're kind of the model at the moment. But let's talk about real quick what happened post game. I mean, we can all pretty much agree that Seattle played Inter Miami off the pitch. But Hector, can you? Oh, those are shots right there. Hector, as you're watching this, what are you thinking here? I mean, you mentioned that everybody kind of. You mentioned that when Inter Miami loses, an angel gets its wings, or something to that effect, right?
I love that response.
So what were you thinking as Miami's going after Seattle players and pretty much losing in a very, very unsportsmanlike way?
I think that there's a lot of pressure with Miami. I mean, you spent a lot of questionable money to this point where we're not even sure if they're even doing anything accordance with MLS salary cap rules, and they're sore losers right now. You failed tremendously in last year's MLS Cup playoffs when you weren't even able to get past the first round. You lost to an Atlanta United team that was very much punching above their weight, but came in with a massive chip on their shoulder, and I was really impressed by the performance. But you fail at that. Haven't really impressed much in Triple C, and now Leagues Cup. The only trophy that Miami really has is from the first ever Leagues Cup, and you're at the final. You got to prove to everybody that that this team is worthy of trophies. It's supposed to be the Real Madrid of MLS, and you can't be the Real Madrid of MLS if there's no silverware to show. And I think that's right now just the accumulation of all those failures kind of pile. This is what happens, and I think we've all kind of noticed that Miami is kind of a bit of a sore loser, the way they handled themselves. And it's kind of crazy when you think of guys like Lionel Messi, when you think of Sergio Busquets, guys that are supposed to be quote unquote true professionals of the game from their history with Barcelona. And there is a standard at Barcelona, as much as I don't like to praise them because I'm a Madrista, but
Shout out.
there is a level of professionalism, and it just went all the way by the wayside. Like if I'm Pep, I'm fuming if I'm seeing this crap.
You're like, I didn't raise these was. You know what? I do gotta say, I'm not a Messi fan, but I did like that he was the only player from Inter Miami to stay behind and watch Seattle get their medals and showed true class. Oh yeah, E Super One said the same thing. I like that Messi stayed for the entire trophy presentation while his entire team went to the lockers. Yeah, I mean, shows a lot of class from the man. Credit where credit is due here, but Hector, I kind of mentioned earlier, I kind of feel like they're the model team at the moment. Is Seattle the best team in MLS at the moment, and then are they the model to follow for MLS teams?
I mean, you're talking about a team that has now won every possible trophy that an MLS team can win. They're the Triple C winners, MLS, won MLS Cups. I believe they've won the U.S. Open Cup as well. And so, I mean, if you're talking about a team that can really say they are the standard of MLS, you might say Seattle. I mean, since they joined MLS, they have always been very much in the discussion. Do I want to say they're like the best team in MLS? I kind of don't, just because I've been very critical about Seattle this past year. I've just found their style of game very dull. Obviously, not dull in this Leagues Cup, and I think that they're definitely finding the right form right now. I think with their defense and now the way the attack is looking, this is what we were supposed to see in the FIFA Club World Cup. And so I think that this was just now things are clicking for Seattle. And I would be very much terrified if I had to see them in the playoffs right now if they continue playing the way they are. But I mean, I don't want to do any LA Galaxy glazing, but I mean, you guys do have the most trophies in MLS history. I feel like till someone can like teeter over you guys, I think obviously Seattle can definitely make a fair argument because of the fact that they have won in every competition. But I when it comes to MLS specifically, I'd still give it to the LA Galaxy.
Oh, glaze away, Hector. Glaze away. No, I agree with you, man. I think Rob. I don't know if you agree with this. I think it's still the Galaxy's mantle to lose, but boy, it's slipping. Like last year, actually put like a real nice Band-Aid on it, right, for about a year, and then like this year. So we're gonna have to see how the next sort of, I guess, the rest of this decade shapes out. But historically speaking,
I don't know. I mean, it's a toss up. Like Hector said. I mean, Seattle's making a strong push. Seattle can make the argument just because they've been more consistent. The Galaxy had a 10-year stretch where they didn't do nada, papa. Absolutamente nada. And you know how dark those times were. Meanwhile, Seattle was out there winning U.S. Open Cups, winning MLS Cups, winning CONCACAF Champions Cups, and just continuing to grow not only their trophy case, but the way they run internally with the academy and everything like that. I mean, again,
a little bit of recency bias, but yes, I feel you. I think that just highlights how good those years were before and how bad the years were.
Academy for the last couple of years. They've had players that they've brought through. I mean, Jordan Morris is case in point. I mean, just right there. But I mean, anyway, what is it that you said, Hector? You don't want to glaze? I mean, not to glaze Seattle, but I mean, I've said a couple times on this podcast. I mean, Seattle right now, as a franchise, as an organization, is who Galaxy fans wish the Galaxy organization was, right? Because just the way they're run so efficiently, they've been that model of consistency. The Galaxy front office right now is making moves to try to be that model of consistency. Obviously, 2025 and notwithstanding, but they're putting in place those building blocks to be that model of consistency, to go ahead and have players come out of the academy and go ahead and set the standard for the youth teams, and all the way from the youth teams to the first team. So, you know, it didn't happen overnight for Seattle. It's not going to happen overnight for the Galaxy. But speaking of, you know, these teams and these players, let's switch gears a little bit right now, because there was more chisme in the past couple of days. There's Gabriel Pec has been linked to a couple of you know, different teams here in this year, even though it's been kind of a down year for the Brazilian. But according to sources, the Galaxy received a late bid for Gabriel Pec to Olympique de Lyon, a region in the region between 16 to 18.5 million. If it's true that it was up to 18.5 million, then that's almost double what the Galaxy paid for him. The reports say that this wasn't a outright buy, but a loan deal with an obligation or some kind of a deal to buy later. However, Ananda, we talked to Greg today, and I've never known this man to lie to us. He's pretty transparent. We asked him in the press conference, and he said that there was no offer made. So I believe him. I mean, no said. That means, you know, that there's no offer for Gabriel Pec, even though that there's reports. But it did make me think about what would be an acceptable price for Gabriel Pec. You know, I know that, Hector, you're not local, but if the Galaxy bought him for about 10 to 10.5, you know, is 18.5 acceptable for him based on his current form?
I think what he means to the team, I think you could say that I would say probably you would want a little bit more. I know his form is kind of dipped, but when he's on, he's on. I mean, I've got to witness how much of a problem Gabby Pec could be, especially when you have a fully healthy LA Galaxy squad. And but yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you need to do with the MLS now. Like I'm totally fine. A lot of guys going and get South American talent and let that be that stepping stone for Europe. I mean, as much as I would love for the MLS to be looked at as a respectable league, I think it's fine, at least for right now, to be that stepping stone. And I think Europe is obviously going to be the aspirations for many of these younger players. And I mean, I'll be honest, Pec isn't getting any younger. So if he definitely wants to test himself and give him a fair shot to be part of Don Ancelotti's squad for Brazil, he's got to make that move. And I think for the Galaxy, I mean, anything that's positive from what they spent to get him is nothing but a bonus for the LA Galaxy.
What do you think, Ananda? What would be an acceptable price for Gabriel Pec? What should the Galaxy be holding out for, especially considering, you know, this year he's kind of had a down year?
Yeah, I mean, couple proxies, right? So one is Transfer Market has him rated at 10 million right now, is 10 million euros. So let's just call it 11 million. Highest market value is at 12 million. So, you know, I mean, 18 or 19, whatever that number is, I mean, that's a damn good number. But like Hector said, it's whatever is net positive, right? We've got to churn out a profit, even if we spend the likes of 8 and 12 million on Pec and JP. And so it just depends, kind of, quote unquote, what's acceptable. I mean, obviously you want to make a net positive move, but yeah, this is an interesting one, man. I think, and I agree with Hector's sentiment of, and this is what I'm going to tack onto it, which is I think the more MLS accepts that they are that sort of stepping stone league, especially for this, or let's call it a development league, I think the better off we'll be. And I think we should just embrace it, right? And I think because that will attract, I think, more talent to understand that they can develop in this league, right? And I think we're competing,
and it'll be a stepping stone.
Well, and I think because the reality is it's competitive. Like if you look at all the other leagues in the world, I mean, we're competing with a lot of other leagues in the world. I mean, even the last conversation we had with Jose, I mean, you look at leagues like the Championship, the Belgian Pro League, some of those other leagues in Europe, the secondary leagues, quote unquote, not outside of the top 5. Those are the leagues that we're competing with in terms of talent, right? And poaching talent, even the Brasileirão and some of these other leagues in South America. So yeah, man, look, I think the more we can do deals like this, where double the profit, I honestly would take it, right? I honestly would have taken it. And that's now the Galaxy have to be secure with themselves in terms of their talent ID, their scouting to replace that. You know what's funny though is there's another winger in Vasco da Gama right now. His name is Ryan, that we've talked to our buddy Gustavo about. He's a huge Vasco da Gama fan. He said he's better than Pec, man. I haven't watched him recently, but it's like, having faith in that type of like whatever plan A, B, and C in your recruiting. So again, I think the Galaxy have to move on stuff like this, especially what is it like? Sell high, buy low, right? It's the name of the game.
Yeah, well, I guess this is all moot and hypothetical because the Galaxy didn't get an offer for Pec, according to Greg Vanny. So again, I've never known the man to lie to us, and so I'm going to take him at his word, and that just means that Gabriel Pec gets a chance to run it back with Joseph Painso and Riqui Puig next year, and hopefully a retooled Galaxy team. One of those tools, one of those links, one of those new pieces you've already kind of seen, guys. Chat. Chris Rindov is the newest member of the Galaxy first team. They just signed the Ventura County FC defender through 2027 and through 2026 with club options for 2026 and 2028. We spoke to Chris Rindov today, Ananda, and the man's being serious business. I loved his story. First off, he also went to Maryland. So
yep, shout out Terps.
This guy just exudes calm. He exudes like that workman-like grind attitude. Like, I already want to give him defending the badge, and he hasn't even done anything. It's just like just the way he talks, man. He's very, very locked in and very aware that this is an opportunity for him to maybe play himself into this team. He's already gotten a start, and he's looked good so far. So he's, again, saying all the right things. He just a very intelligent guy, just in what we've been able to talk to him. But what was your reaction to this move, Ananda?
Positive. This is probably Jalen Neal's replacement, right? We needed more center back cover, especially like you look at Zonka, who hasn't been obviously pulling up any trees this year, according to Galaxy fans. So, this is positive, man. This is sort of like, people are kind of talking about it a little bit in the chat, which is like the youth development side now pushing through academy players. I think that's a huge piece of this. So I think it's positive. So yeah, I'll let you get back. I know you've got some words from the presser, and then we'll ask Hector an interesting question about MLS roster building, especially with you.
Will Kuntz won a record set since joining the Galaxy family with Ventura. Chris has not only demonstrated an excellent work ethic and strong defensive instincts, but has shown himself to be a selfless teammate and leader, willing to do anything to help his teams be successful. And he talks about, exactly what you were just saying. His development is a testament to the great work being done by Matt Taylor and Gordon Collection to create a competitive environment that prepares their MLS Next Pro players for the challenges of MLS. We're excited to welcome Chris and look forward to watching him develop and contribute to the Galaxy. And he's already contributing. That's the wonderful thing. And he's, like you said, a testament to the fact that these players are coming through. The Galaxy are, again, starting to do it. They've, they had Julian Araujo, they had Jalen Neal, but we've not seen a tremendous amount of VCFC players actually make it through and stick with the first team. Hector, we've seen, as we saw earlier, Seattle be a little bit more successful in that and bringing through Tacoma Defiance prospects. Do you think that the winning formula for the next phase in MLS will be just like Seattle's doing and investing in their academy and development? Or is it still bringing in big names and creating Galactico teams like Inter Miami is doing?
I think you definitely need to continue with the balance, right? Like I think as someone that had the pleasure of working with MLS academies, it starts with the ground floor, man. I think that not just MLS specifically, but just your national teams, especially for U.S. soccer, for it to continue to grow. Um, we need to have better utilization of the academies. It's a gripe that I've had for many years with the Houston Dynamo that I've complained constantly about. Like, you guys speak of like the few MLS academy players that have come out through your guys' system, but like the only name of note for the Dynamo is Memo Rodriguez, who's currently with Sporting Kansas City. That's the only guy that's really come out.
Ex-Galaxy player.
Ex-Galaxy player as well. And I still have a lot of respect for Memo, and I still follow with his career because he's just overall just a great kid. Which I don't even know why I'm calling him.
Truth.
He's a grown man now. So I mean,
no, truth. I mean, I had the pleasure of talking to him here in Los Angeles a couple different times, and class act.
So yeah, and I think that's an important thing with MLS. I think Houston Dynamo, for a prime example, has been getting a lot of note for having so many academy players going into their second team in Dynamo 2. They just actually signed two new players to professional contracts in Noah Bendecourt and Enrique Correa, which are two guys that I am very proud to say that I've gotten to work with. And they're genuinely just great kids. Enrique, especially, a lot of pride from being from Venezuela, to take the risk and move, come here to Houston, place that he had no familiarity with, and to give a shot to go professional. And he signs his first pro contract. And Noah Bendecourt, Dynamo pulled an okey-doke over Ohio State to keep him on with the team versus going to college. So that was pretty cool as well. But I think, yeah, that's important. We need to start. But now the real question is, when are we going to start seeing these guys play professionally, like with the first team, not MLS Next Pro? And I think that's when we need to start seeing. And I think Seattle showed, like, hey, our guys just competed with Messi. Like that should just tell you just enough. Like, let's see what these young kids can do. And when you're talking about salary cap, no offense to the guys, but this is probably the cheaper way to make sure you guys stay within that salary cap, where you can go after maybe a guy that doesn't necessarily have to go as a DP. So if you really want to work with it, I think FC Dallas at one point was really good at it. They had one of the best academies at once upon a time. And I mean, that's one of the things that worked for them. The only thing was that they just never went to go buy a player of high caliber. I think you're seeing with Seattle, you can find that good mixture. LA Galaxy, I was feeling that mixture was coming into play because for a long time, the LA Galaxy was just known for bringing in Zlatan Ibrahimovic, bringing David Beckham over. But now you're seeing a mixture of young players and being kind of smart with the decisions of who you bring into the team. So I think if you guys start getting more and more academy players coming out through your system, it's just going to make things even better, especially the way Will Kuntz is just willing and dealing like he is.
Well, I was gonna tack on to that point that Hector made about balance, Rob, because he brought up FC Dallas. That's a great case, right? Of yes, breeding young talent in your academy, but not balancing that with winning pieces. Then you look at teams like Seattle who have done that, right? With pieces like Raul Ruidiaz, etc. The list goes on and on. Steph Fry, right? So I think it is a balance. I think it is the right balance. And the other thing too is I think also like every team has sort of their DNA, and I don't think they can escape it. Like the Galaxy will never be Seattle, in my opinion. The Galaxy, ever since their inception, has always been the team of Galacticos, has always been about bringing, Hollywood into their roster construction, into the way they market themselves, etc. That's always been the case, Rob. Like all the way from the days of Kobe Jones to Chicharito, like it's always been that star player. I don't think the Galaxy will ever go away from that. But I think to the point of balance now, I think we do have to balance that with academy players and bringing them through, like your Julio Naranjos. Like you're going to have those players come through. And I think we need to, Greg now, over the next couple of years or however long his tenure will be, he will have to find the right balance of that. And I think hopefully for the rest of the season, I think a lot of Galaxy fans are hoping that they see that.
Next year should be really telling. I mean, there's a couple of depth players that the Galaxy have at the moment that are good young players, and hopefully that they make that further jump next year and are bigger contributors to this team. But we might see a lot of these players that I'm speaking about here against Houston, because the Galaxy have 7 games left, and truth be told, depending on who you ask, they don't have a lot to play for. But let's kick it to Hector real quick. Let's ask him about the latest pulse in Houston. But before we ask him this question, I do want to remind you guys to find out when we have wonderful guests like Hector. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Hector, returning to you. What's the biggest talk of the town right now surrounding the Dynamo? What's the feeling like? I mean, there's the playoff push going on, but I mean, there's kind of like a skid happening. I mean, what's the feeling there on the streets?
Right now, the Dynamo have made a lot of interesting signings as of lately. Signing Sergio Santos, signing a few defenders as well recently. I've been pretty active, like as far as getting like free agents. And I think that's just kind of going back to like issues defensively the Dynamo have had, especially at home. Looking for more certainty as far as the attack. So I think that's kind of where people are going with it. But I think as far as right now, the excitement is just Jack McGlynn getting called up again for the U.S. men's national team.
So I actually didn't account for that. And in this preview, are you telling me that Jack McGlynn won't be available for this match?
Yes, Mr. All he shoots is bangers is not going to be available to us.
I mean,
also, fun story. So Jose invited me to go watch FC Dallas and Dynamo when they were up there in Frisco. And as we're watching the game, McGlynn scores an outside the box shot like he always does.
Banger.
And I immediately just looked at Jose and I immediately yelled at him, all he does is score bangers. Jose could tell you. Jose should not be lying about that one. I was like, all he does is score bangers.
So what he's saying, Robbie's, is the Edwin Cerillo of Houston. That's bangers only.
Yeah, when Edwin scores him, he scores bangers. Well, that just altered my prediction for this one a lot. And yes, Hector, we will get receipts from you at the end. We will ask you for a prediction. But before we get into this match preview proper, Saturday's match marks the 45th all-time meeting across all competitions between these two teams, with the Galaxy leading that series 18-14-12. Against Houston, the Galaxy hold a 14-14-12 record in league play. In the first meeting between these two teams this year, they played to a 1-1 draw at the Digs on April 12th. In 21 MLS regular season road matches played against the Dynamo, the Galaxy holds a 7-10-4 record. The last time they traveled to Show Energy Stadium, the Galaxy lost 2-1. That was on October 19th, 2024. And the man we were talking about earlier, Gabriel Pec, he likes a match against Houston. He has 2 goals and 1 assist in 3 career matches, so a goal contribution across all those matches. And recently, the Galaxy has been strong at home, so this will be a good test for them going away from home, trying to get a result. Their first 3 points on the road this season, and I did kind of get a little jolt of energy when Hector told me that Jack McGlynn won't be available for this one. But then I also did remember that Joseph Paintsill won't be available for the Galaxy, and he's been a key contributor for the Galaxy, guys. He's rounding into form finally, and he has 8 goals and 2 assists in his last 11 matches. So Joseph Paintsill is going to be a big miss for the Galaxy. And let's look at the standings here in this one. We did mention that Houston is making that playoff push after 28 matches. They hold an 8-12-8 record. They are on 32 points, 1.14 points per game, but a -9 goal difference in 10th place, just 3 points behind San Jose. Their last match was a 3-2 win away over St. Louis, but it did get scary as the Dynamo went up 3-0, and St. Louis scored 2 goals in 3 minutes after the 80th to make it a little bit nervy there for Houston. Before that, they were winless in 6 games. And of course, everybody knows the Galaxy's in last place after 27 matches, 4-16-7 record, 19 points, and a full
Womp.
16 points behind 9th place Austin. It's not looking good. It's 9th place San Jose. But they are 2 points behind St. Louis. So they are in competition for not winning the Golden Spoon.
There we go. Or the
Hector,
wooden one.
is it wooden or golden? Did I say golden?
Yeah.
You said golden. Yeah.
No, it's wooden. Man, anyway.
I think you were thinking of Willy Wonka and the golden ticket from earlier. It's okay, Baba. It's all good.
Yeah, from earlier. Yes, the golden ticket.
But anyway, season's over. Yes,
Hector. I'm yes. For the Galaxy, I mean, depending on who you ask, but I was talking about how Houston was winless before that in 6 games. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 11. What's gone wrong during the stretch, Hector? What's been up?
They're not good at home. They're really not good at home. The negative goal differential does come from home games. They've been fairly even on the road, so the Dynamo have been quote unquote road dogs, even though I don't think you can take that with a grain of salt with how they play on the road, but it's more positive than the negative when it comes to home matches. I don't know what it is about this team. It's just it just really hasn't really been from what we normally expect. I think it kind of comes back from something's just missing since Ache is no longer with the club. And it's just trying to find that new guy in the midfield to kind of take charge. I think a lot of hope was given onto Jack McGlynn to kind of fit in that role. I don't think he's the same player as Ache. I mean, it's a hard player to replace. And also on top of that, you move on from Coca Carrasquilla, and now he's over at Pumas. And so
fantastic player,
huge,
fantastic player, great guy. Offered me milk one time.
Context, please.
So for most people that don't know, I used to be a kid man for the Houston Dynamo Academy. And from time to time, I would help out with the first team. And I went to the little, I guess, cafeteria to go get like a body armor. And it just happened that me and Coco were both going towards the same fridge. And so he's like, "Oh, ¿qué quieres? Oh, tenemos leche, tenemos agua, tenemos," and I'm just like,
Coco, that's gangster. Good on you, man. That's a great
good story.
Little anecdote. And I'm also dying over here because Green Blue Tribe said Willy Zonka. I don't know why that tickles me so much, but it's wonderful. But anyway, only 3 points back from a playoff spot though at the moment. What do you think? Does this make Houston more dangerous for the Galaxy? Do you think the pressure is too much for them? Like, we're just 3 points back. Do you think? Do you remember in Major League where Randy Quaid's like, "Oh, they'll blow it in the 9th"? You know, like, are they going to blow it in the 9th? Do you think the pressure is going to get to them?
You know, I don't know. At this point, it's like you never know with this Dynamo team. It seems like there's those games where they look great, they just can't finish, and then there's games where they're finishing, but then they just keep letting the other team back in it. And I think kind of almost what happened when it gets against St. Louis, where they had a very comfortable lead and then it just started getting sloppy near the end. I don't know what is the core issue, but they found ways to lose in different styles, which that's got to be impressive in some sense. But at the end of it all, they've still been able to stay very much middle of the row. And obviously everyone feels, I guess, if you're able to get yourself in the playoffs, anything is potentially possible. And I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but I think this team has been able to step up in different ways. And but I think it's gonna be really big on Ponce to continue capitalizing on his goal opportunities. It's gonna be interesting to see who steps up in that midfield. You know, do we see that Bossy, Kowalski? Like I always butcher that guy's name, but like, you know, do they gel a little bit in that midfield? Did they put them in the midfield? And Nolly's now a starter on the wing, which I like. But it's just going to be, what do we see from this team? And what are going to be some big changes knowing that Jack McGlynn's not going to be available to the team?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I did not account for that one. I didn't even click. Oh, he could get called up and he could be missing. But that's again a huge plus for the Galaxy from where they're sitting. But however, the Galaxy have a couple players missing as well. Ananda, I don't know if you're up on this, but Greg told us today that Amito and Big Matt Nasty, Mateus Nastimiento, they both are day to day. They, he mentioned that Amito certainly hasn't gotten worse, but he hasn't gotten better since those 45-minute cameo against Orlando. So these players are probably not going to be available against Houston either. Of course, Riqui Puig, we did get some clarity on him today as well, Ananda. And I did mention at the top of the show that he did take his first team training yesterday. However, it was very deceptive because he was pictured out there, and Mans only took the first couple of minutes with the first team. He just did a couple of rondos, and then he kind of went off and
oh man, dude. Hey, Captain America settings with Riqui, man. Put him on ice. Just put him on ice. Captain America settings.
Yeah, I mean, that was the question I asked. I asked Keith. Remember that should you go ahead and just have Riqui hanging up for the year? And he answered, no. I mean, he's a competitor. He's a player that's going to want to be out there. But Hector, what do you think? There's 7 games left here. We spoke to Greg today. It doesn't sound like Ricky's close yet. As you get closer to the end of the year, is it even worth getting Riqui out there on the field, or do you just let it ride into next year? What would you do if you were Greg?
I would honestly just not even feature Riqui Puig. I mean, I know his value, and it would be great to see how he can perform on the field, but give him an off season, give him more time to heal. I think that especially as you're getting older, time is probably, especially with injuries, if you get enough time, get more rehabilitation, get him more into game speed, because that's the other thing you're talking about. Not only is he getting recovered, but now you're going to throw him out there and hope that he can just keep up with the pace of the game. And I think that those are all very important factors. To get him in game shape is a whole lot different of getting someone in shape. And so I think for me, logic tells me let him sit out for the rest of the year. There's no reward to risking a potential another injury for Puig.
I mean, Baba, call me crazy, but give him some minutes. Give him like 40, 45 minutes with VCFC. I mean, he needs minutes.
Can you imagine? I'd
be at the Willie roll. But no, I mean, like Hector said, like you're gonna throw him out. You're gonna throw him out in the Wolves. I mean, definitely not against a team like Seattle, right? Because I mean, we don't play them. Oh, we play them actually next week, I think, after this match. But again, you don't want to throw him. You don't want to throw him out to the Wolves like that either. I mean, give him some rehab minutes. Go for it. I'm good with that.
Hey, that Riqui Puig VCFC jersey, instant classic. Yeah, that's an instant sellout right there. Can you imagine? The only thing comparable to that I can think of is when I was a lad, when I was a youth, Hector. I lived in a little town called,
like 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I just grew up anyway. So there was a AAA baseball team, or a single A, or something. It was one of the A's, but they were an affiliate for the Dodgers one year, and Hideo Nomo got injured, and then he came to pitch at the stadium in Lancaster. It was the coolest thing, man. We were just geeking out, bro. It was crazy. Can you imagine, Ananda, if Riqui Puig pulled up to the Willie roll and did rehab minutes there?
Not out of the question, honestly.
It's honestly not a bad idea. I mean, like, the pace of the game is probably going to be...
They're playing for something. Those guys are playing for something.
You're playing for something. The pace of the game might be favorable for Riqui to be able to settle in. So you're thinking outside the box. I think, Will Cousins, if they do this, they need to slide a little check on your guys' end to make sure that the message well received.
I like the way you think, Hector. I like the way you think.
I mean, Rob, I think I'm pretty sure, Will and those guys, I think they listen every now and then. So yeah. Hey, there you go, Rob. Throw that in there. Throw that feeler in there.
I heard there's a rumor that this is Ricky's favorite podcast, actually. Like, this listens to it religiously. Like, he's just like, man, I really wish they would run it every single night. And Riqui, if you want to pay for the production of that, we can definitely do that.
Vamos.
But anyway,
Back to the game.
so yeah, back to the game. We see who the Galaxy have missing. Hector, who does Houston have missing besides Jack McClellan?
I think I could be wrong. I think Carlos had like a little bit of a knock, so I would assume that we might see Ethan Bartlow, in at the center back position. Midfield seems about right. I would maybe Linger gets put on the wing where Jack McGlynn is, and then either we see Bassi or Seba play in the midfield, kind of take over be an actual 10. Which that would be interesting, especially when you can have Brooklyn Reigns and Arthur kind of be like dual 6s, 8s.
Such a cool name, Brooklyn Reigns. Like that's the guy that fights crime right there.
Great kid, by the way. Awesome dude.
So with you mentioned that that Bossy might play that 10 role, right? But Bossy always loves the game against the Galaxy. Always,
yes,
very
he does
against the Galaxy.
Yep.
So I expect that if he does play that 10 role, that Ponce is gonna have a career night. He's just gonna feed Ponce all day. Ananda, what in these stats are you going to tell us that is going to influence our predictions?
Yeah, really quick before we get to that, Hector, I haven't asked. I just thought of this because I see his name on the team sheet there, and we haven't even touched on it, Rob. But of course, ex-Galaxy keeper Jonathan Bond is going to be in between the sticks for you guys. How has he been? Like, what do you think of his performance? Because I know we've got a separate view on him with his time at the Galaxy. I don't think it was the best. I mean, he was a good shot stopper, but didn't have the best of times, I think, over a consistent period. So what's been your impressions of Bondi with the Dynamo?
This year was a weird year for goalkeepers. Obviously, the Dynamo moved on from Steve Clark, which I think that was kind of that was unfortunate, but I understand. I mean, the guy's not getting any younger. It was supposed to be Andrew Tarbill, tears his ACL. Jim Maurer, I believe, also got injured. And then it went down to our third string goalkeeper, Gilliam, to take over. He didn't look that bad also, by the way. But you still needed goalkeepers. And I think Bond, I believe, was released by the club that he was with, comes in. I think the positive was to take is a guy that has MLS experience is the words I think I used to describe the move. I don't think he's been terrible. I think it's so tricky to critique goalkeeping just because it's a lot of accumulation of also good backline work. Even so, you got to take that into account as well. But and I mean the Dynamo backline have obviously you saw the goal differential, so it should probably tell you everything you need to know. So it's a combination of just inconsistent goalkeeping. I think Bond, within the situation that Dynamo are in at the goalkeeper spot, I think has been very commendable. So a little positive with it, but I understand the feelings of Bond as far as your guys' perspective.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against 67 goals shipped. He great guy. It didn't happen for him.
Didn't happen.
Really quick, want to take a time out to say thank you to Green Blue Tribe for the love. I believe it's the first time with us, and thank you so much for being here with us.
And I'm gonna guess by the name it's a Seattle fan, Rob, or a Seattle based thing. So shout out, man. Again, this is for all MLS fans.
Yeah,
and by the way, Green Blue Tribe, if you haven't had a chance yet, Hector's on a show on Goals TV. Our friends over there, and the wonderful Jose and Bromigo and all those guys. Hector's on a show called Wake Up MLS. So if you want more MLS stuff, go check them out.
Speaking of Hector, go ahead and plug, baby. Go ahead and plug.
Yeah, it's a good time right now. Plug.
I mean, insert name FC. That's the podcast that I have. The handle's right there. It's luckily the same thing for every platform that we have on social media. It doesn't really cover MLS. We'll talk MLS from time to time, but it's more worldly football. So we just dropped new episodes every Thursday. We talk about a Bundesliga dumb rule. UEFA trying to stop Barcelona from having a game in Miami, and Also, my co-host Edward, who's my childhood best friend, known him since I was 4 years old. He's a Manchester United fan, so we ripped the Band-Aid of the whole Grimsby town, and
Why you got to go there, bro? Come on, man.
I mean
we were having such a good time together.
The Ruben Amorim memes were just too good.
Oh,
Also, I
man.
felt so bad also because the dude was literally doing his job, like doing the tactics board stuff. Like everyone was like, "Oh, he's well over his head." I was like, "Nah, he's actually doing his job."
Yeah, no, that's what I said too. I was like, okay, well, yeah, this team is the team is losing. I mean, let's just be honest. They've been shite, but I mean, they're losing. So what is he supposed to do? Just like do nothing? So I was like, why are people making memes of this man? He's like you said, he's literally doing his job. That's what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be figuring out how to make the team better, right?
What he's supposed to do? Not use the tactics board?
Exactly. And anyway, either way, a complete embarrassment. I'm very sad that you brought it up. I can't even describe the embarrassment of that kind of loss. But anyway, let's get back to this.
Shall we move on? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no,
let's get away from Ruben Amorim and the Pokemon cards scandal.
Well,
so there you go.
Pobrecito. Marvin G says he knows pain as a United fan. We've been in sad 4 hours for years, bro. Yeah, it's been true. We've been in sad 4 hours since Fergie called time on his wonderful, illustrious career. It's been sad times. Anyway, I would rather be a San Jose supporter than a United one. Oh man, ow! No, I don't know about all that one. That's a debate for Lacuna After Dark. But anyway, Ananda, hit these stats up.
I want to say green blue. That's a meme going around. I'm pretty sure it's fake, but you go ahead and search that. You'll find it on the interwebs or the place the Bird app. So, anyways, real quick stats. I think a couple interesting things on this, Rob, and Hector brought up the point of not having Ache anymore on this team. Over the past couple of years, covering ever since we started this pod, Houston's always been a really, really strong possession team. And I think that has to do with guys like Ache, guys like Coco Carrasquilla that can control the tempo of the game. They're still a possession team, but, in the top 10, but they're always in like the top 2 or 3 in the last couple of years. So they are still a possession team under Ben Olsen, but it's something we've got to, that we've got to watch. We're going to have 2 possession-based teams that like to have the ball. But Rob, kind of like the Galaxy, they don't do enough with it. I mean, shots on target per match, 28th in the league at 3.5. It's kind of been like the Galaxy this year. I mean, that possession with a purpose, right? We always talk about it with Vanny, which is like
the burden of possession,
and then sideways and backwards kind of thing, right? Instead of like breaking through the lines. But one thing we've got to watch out for with Houston, Rob, look at that accurate crosses per match, top 5 in the league, 5.1. So, with guys like Griffin Dorsey out there, you're going to have whipped deliveries into the box, maybe some early ones, so that whoever starts center back, if it's Rindov, right, we've got to watch out for that for sure. And our center backs got to be on point. Defensively, I mean, Hector's talked about like them not being the best defensive team, and they're not a team that's going to win the ball high up the pitch, Rob. You look at that possessions won, final third per match, 3.0. I mean, towards the bottom of the league. So they're a very different team than some of the oppositions we faced recently, which they like to win the ball high up the pitch. That's not going to be the case with Houston. And I think they'll just hit you in those, certain areas, certain 50-50 battles, duels in the middle of the pitch, or they'll try to break you down with their possessions. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any other stats that jump out to you, Hector, that of for the Dynamo, but I think we know what kind of team Dynamo are under Ben Olsen. It's just like Hector said, now it's just chess pieces, right? You don't have an Ache, you don't have a Coco Carrasquilla, so they've had to alter a little bit in the way they play. But like you said, Rob, Amin Bassi always shows up against the Galaxy for some reason. So that's a guy to watch out for sure.
Well, then let me ask you, Hector, because you see an important piece like McGlynn being out. 2 questions here. Who is going to be the danger man then for Houston? Who's going to be running the show? And then not who's going to be running the show, but who's going to be the X factor? Who's going to be the unsung hero for Houston? The guy that is going to be putting in a 7 or 8 out of 10 shift, quietly goes under the radar?
I'm gonna say Shevchenko. I mean, as a center back, I think he's a huge upgrade when it comes defensively for the team. I think he's going to be a good leader in the back line. I think that's what's been missing defensively for the Dynamo. And for a home game, I think that would be important for his leadership. He's getting healthy, and that's a positive, at least from that standpoint. But and I'm going to continue looking at the defense because I think Griffin Dorsey is just such a wild card. He's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
He's going to be a massive problem, not only defensively, but also up in the attack. So I think that he can definitely be a big spark for them. And on the other side, Andrade, I think he's been also kind of, you could say Spider-Man meme with him and Dorsey when it comes to it, because I feel like both guys provide like good sparks on the attack for the team. And I mean, since Andrade came over, he's been a pretty good goal scorer from time to time when he gets his opportunities.
So what you're saying is that these fullbacks are going to just run at the Galaxy backline. Wonderful.
They do love to do that. They do love to do that. So
no, what he's actually saying is Dorsey's going to serve it on a plate to Shevchenko to get another game-winning header in injury time to dash the Galaxy's hopes, like Daniel Steres last year.
It's always going to be Daniel Steres. Don't worry about him. He'll come off the bench. Don't you worry about that.
He really likes sticking it to the Galaxy. Oh, wow. Pottermus, rather be a Chunham fan than meant. Wow,
they're getting deep, Papa.
Yeah, no, I mean they're really hurting me there in chat right now. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but anyway, we'll just carry on here. Hector, we do a little something here on the show for giggles mostly, but also to see where your head's at. But it's called fill in the blank. For Houston to win this match, they have to ...
Pretend they're on the road. That's what they gotta do.
Nice.
What about you, Ananda? For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ...
Ooh, maybe a two-part answer. First, they need to play the kids. Rob, I think we saw what happened last time, or Greg needs to play the kids. We saw what happened last time against Colorado. I think the kids will have something to prove. They've got contracts to play for. They have extra motivation. I've always talked about it this season. I don't feel like the Galaxy entered this 2025 season with enough of a chip in their shoulder. And I think that was the beginning of their demise. We knew we were going to be the hunted, but we never really sort of like embraced that. I don't think like maybe we enjoy being the hunter than the hunted. I know Sophie uses that line a lot and I kind of like it. And maybe that's the way the Galaxy approach the season mentally. So first we need to start the kids because I think the kids will be extra motivated. And then be hungry. And then just hope for some good weather. I haven't looked at the weather report. I probably should.
Oh,
but yeah, I think
what's it gonna be like
90% humidity.
Hey, I mean, you guys are coming at. Hey, be grateful because last time it was a downpour.
Oh yeah,
truth.
It's funny because I've actually was the weather guy for Goals TV at one point. It's gonna be warm. I mean, but it's gonna cool down. Obviously, when the sun goes down, you'll be fine. It'll be like 70 something, 80 degrees odd somewhere around there. So
hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. I mean, I won't be there, but favorable conditions for the lads. Guys, we have asked you to start dropping those score predictions in chat. We will get to those in a moment. We will put our guest on the spot. He'll, as the hospitable guest that we are, will let him go first. But before we do that, Ananda, I have to ask, did Dr. Riquinho come back from vacation yet? I know he was in Aruba. He was taking a scuba diving class, and he said something about not being able to. But did he get around to it?
Well, he was chilling with me in Las Canarias, Papa, drinking sangria. But yeah, he did come back. He did cook up some betting odds. So the latest D ratings betting odds, guys. Galaxy at a 22% win probability. Houston is at a 50. Let's call it 54. Projected goals 1.68 Houston to 0.99 for the Galaxy. So 1-1, 2-1, take your pick. 24% for the draw, which is also a fairly likely outcome as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting, man, as we get to the predictions here. It'll be interesting to see how both teams approach it. I mean, Houston, obviously they've got a lot to play for. Like Hector said, they're chasing that final spot. The good thing is, if you look at the standings, like they're a game. They have a game in their back pocket against the 8th and 9th seed. I think Dallas though has a game less played. So I mean, they're thereabouts. They definitely have a huge shot. And it's funny because it's funny that Hector talked about like not being good at home, because I would imagine, like, especially for the Galaxy, like every time I hear playing Houston in the middle of summer or towards the end, I'm like, ugh, that's advantage Houston right away, right? Because that heat and humidity, that's such a huge, especially for a team like Galaxy with guys like Marco Royce, Maya Yoshida, that's a huge like element that usually like we handicap the Galaxy just from a weather standpoint anytime we play Austin, etc. So yeah, man, it'll be an interesting game. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see how Greg approaches this as well with his roster.
And now the moment we have all been waiting for. Hector, what is your score prediction here for this weekend's match between Houston and the LA Galaxy?
So normally, if this was Wake Up MLS, I would normally piss off Jose by predicting a draw. So, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna support my club and say it's gonna be a 1-0 victory. I think it's gonna come down to the final minutes, and maybe it's a Daniel Steers goal. Which, if that's the case, if Daniel Steers comes off the bench, I'm sorry, boys. I think it's GG's.
You're putting money on it right there,
right then and there. The bet's being placed. I will be at the stadium. I will be present there, so I definitely hope to see a victory for my team while I'm there.
Well, Hector's calling a 1-0 Houston win. I know that we have a couple of predictions here in chat. As Ananda says, chat always goes first, and then he will follow up because I went first last time. So without further ado,
eSuper1 says 3-2. Was that for the Galaxy? I'm assuming that's for the Galaxy. Hopefully,
I think so.
I hope so.
Yeah. 1-1 tie. 1-1 tie. Green Blue Tribe 4-1.
Now this one I'm wondering about because.
He follows it up with says Houston has nothing to counter the Galaxy if they play well. Well, this is the thing. Like Galaxy are so Jekyll and Hyde. That's a huge. Again, I mean, the table never lies, right? But that's the thing, Rob, is like Galaxy are Jekyll and Hyde. But let's talk about the one thing we haven't talked about yet, which is a huge storyline coming into this for the Galaxy. The Galaxy are still searching for their first road win in 2025.
No, I meant.
And we only have. Oh, did you? Well, and
yeah.
we only have 3 shots left, like 3 games left to not have that be a blemish on the record for 2025, right? Bro, like so that's the thing, and that kind of like dampens my, especially like Houston away. Houston away has always been and it's never been. You talked about the record earlier. It's never been a fun place to play. No. So I think both head and heart pick for me, Baba. It's going to be a draw. I don't know if it's 1-1, 2-2, 0-0. Who knows? But I think it is going to be a point at some point. Like I said, just because Houston we have to travel, number one, right? But then Houston has never been a fun place to play. Doesn't matter what month of the year it is. It's just never been. It's been a bogey place for us for sure. So 1-1, 2-2, something like that. A point.
Look. Mi partner, El Marvin, he's seeing the vision. Galaxy 2-1 with the B squad playing a faster, hungrier game. I'm going to expand on that.
I hope so.
We've already heard it from Greg that he's going to use the stretch of games to play these young players, play players that perhaps if the Galaxy, were in the playoff hunt or, they were actually playing for something, wouldn't get these minutes. But we've already heard from Greg that they are. You could be seeing, more of Elijah Winder. You could be seeing more of Isaiah Parente, players that have something to prove, that tienen hambre, que necesitan mostrarle al profe que juegan, right, for that contract next year and for an ability to get more minutes next year, right? Certainly Elijah Winder has had a couple of decent showings recently. He's going to want to expand on that if he gets the time. So I think all those things Jack being out, Green Blue Tribe says there's no way they obviously lose to Houston without Jack. Sir, won't he do it? Won't he do it?
JP's up, Papa. So do we see Harbor Miller again at left wing?
Now Harbor's with the U.S. Youth National Team.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what Greg does at left wing.
Yeah, I mean, I actually asked him that.
I just realized Brooklyn Reigns will also be with the U.S. Youth National Team.
Yeah, so there's a lot of players out for both these teams that affect how they're going to be lining up. We did ask Greg. I asked him, with JP being out, who steps up, how are you going to account for that? And he talked about how Diego's been playing more in that midfield role, but he does have the ability to play on the wing, play in the middle, so I think the way Diego is placed in this lineup will tell us a lot about the way that Greg intends to play. And anyway, to put a little bow on it, that's a 2-1 Galaxy win for me. That's my prediction. I was right on the last one. Hopefully I'm right on this one. So
you were right on the last one. Props to you, Papa, because we thought we were going to get clapped by Orlando, but hey, it didn't happen. Got lucky.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a little bit more optimistic. I mean, now the Galaxy does have to play Seattle. Not this week, but next week. So get back to me on the whole optimism thing. But it is what it is. But we have Hector predicting a Houston win. We have Ananda calling a tie. I'm calling a Galaxy win. You guys heard it here. The receipts are there. Call us on it if you see us. Hector, thank you so much for being here with us tonight, brother. We really appreciate it. Really quick, before you go, one more time, tell us where we can find you and where we can enjoy seeing your analysis of world football.
Insert name FC on all our channels. Literally right there. That's on the right there under my name. That's literally, luckily, the handle for everything that we have. New episodes every Thursday. You can find us on anything we're podcasting at. And just enjoy two guys that definitely declare themselves as morons, just talking about a game we love.
That's pretty good description of this podcast as well. I like it. I'm going to piggyback off that. I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? Hector, the wise man, said this. And then, so I'll attribute to you. But thank you so much for being here with us, man. We really appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully it's not the first and only time that it happens. Open invitation to you, sir. Shout out to the Goals TV family as well, and Jose and Bromigo. On Monday, September 8th, we'll bring you our Houston reaction with the unmistakable Christian Miles. So Miles will be here to give us his thoughts on the Galaxy season and where they could go from here. It'll be interesting to see what he thinks about the Galaxy, depending on whether they win or lose. And then a week from now, on Thursday, September the 11th, we'll be joined by Ari Liljenwall, who will be here to help us with our Seattle preview as the Galaxy gets set to take on the Sounders again. Hopefully it's not more of the same pain. Ananda, anything else to add before we get on out of here?
No, I was gonna say you displaced me with Christian Miles, man. What a wonderful co-host. Like I was gonna say I'm not gonna be here on Monday, guys. So you're gonna have a wonderful co-host in C Miles, and I wish I could be there to talk with him because it's been a while since we had him on. So and he's always great to talk to. And yeah,
Ananda, I checked, it's been almost a year.
It's been almost a year, so it'll be great to have him on again and get his thoughts, right? Because he's always great in terms of getting. Especially looking from afar. I mean, I know he has Galaxy in his heart a little bit too. And maybe you guys can talk a little Man United, Arsenal. How about that? You can talk a little.
Man, let's just stop talking Manchester United right now.
All right, let's get out of here then.
From all of us boys here at Laguna Galaxiana and our special guest for the evening, Hector Flores, thank you again for being here with us. We do appreciate it. For all our first timers in chat, we do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully, you tell all your friends and family, El Lechero, El Elotero, the man that's selling
hit that sub.
The lottery. Hit that sub. Y'all know what to do. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back with y'all soon. One thing left to say. Y'all know what it is. G's up. Pick it up.